Hey guys, Sam here from Banter Lab. Just letting you know that this podcast was filmed originally as a video podcast of Ben and I, but unfortunately the video didn't pan out as expected with the quality. So we're going to work on that for next time. But in the meantime, I've got some Battlefield 1 gameplay for you. It's pretty average, but we'll make do with what we can. But there is a part where we go into Uncharted 4 spoilers, and I say that'll pat my head when the spoiler's done. Well, obviously that can't happen now because the video didn't pan out. So what I've done is I've put some text over during the part where we're spoiling Uncharted. So just mute the video during that time if you don't want Uncharted 4 spoiled for you. Thanks and enjoy the show. What's up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of the CasualCast, the Banter Lab's weekly podcast. I'm your host, Sam Nicholson, joined alongside by Ben Storia. How you doing, man?
How we doing?
Not too shabby at all. So as this is our first episode, I guess any listener isn't really going to understand what we are. So I thought I'd talk about who we are, what Banter Lab is, and all that good stuff. So we're pretty much just a regular gaming channel and pop culture channel, I guess, talking about anything in this casual cast. It's a pretty casual and conversational podcast, I guess, as you can tell by the title of it. And so we're doing gameplay videos uploaded every now and then, movie and game reviews, stuff like that. And there are two more of us as well in the crew. Did you want to tell us a bit about yourself, Ben?
Oh, look, what is there to say? From a small town, big gamer. I really don't do much with my life. No, but what? I got a little bit of insight into some pop culture. Enjoy talking about it, giving my opinion, and usually contradicting what you have to say. So we'll see where that goes down. But you can expect some mediocre gameplay from whatever we do, and some pretty shitty comments.
Yeah, look, we're a bunch of pretty average Australians, I guess. I mean, don't expect, incredible quality content from us straight away. I mean, we strive for adequacy. That's where we keep the bar. But no, yeah, if I were to say a word or two about myself, I'm from a small town in Australia, love gaming. I think that's exactly what you said. I was trying to say exactly what you said, but I couldn't remember.
Are you me?
Perfectly. Yeah, my name's Ben.
I was going to say more or less, I guess, coming from this podcast, we're just going to be giving our opinions on things. A lot of our facts are probably not going to be correct, but it's just going off what we've read.
We'll try to make it as entertaining as possible for sure. Like we will talk about anything and everything on this podcast. It's not all games and movies and all that kind of good stuff, even though that's what we have lined up for today. But that's pretty much who we are as Banter Lab. We have another two guys on the channel, Ben and Jake, who couldn't join us tonight, unfortunately. But we might as well head straight into the first topic that we've got lined up for today. So, yeah, I don't know if you saw, it was, yeah, no, like you might have seen it. There was a tiny, like not very many people were hyped up about it. It was pretty quiet on the internet last week. But a tiny little game developer, almost on the indie level, really, Rockstar, they uploaded a red background on Twitter with their logo, and then everyone started going insane. And then what happens 2 days later? We get a trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Beautiful.
So are you keen
stunning.
for the game, Ben? Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. It looks amazing. Look, giving us nothing early development, obviously, and it already looks 10 times better visually. And knowing coming from Rockstar, and I assume they're going to have a very similar style to their original Red Dead Redemption, I'm overly excited. As long as they keep to their roots and don't try to go too much of a different direction, anything. They can do anything, I'll be happy.
Yeah, what surprised me about it is that it's actually called Red Dead Redemption 2 because it's the third game in the Red Dead series. I mean, there's one that most people ignored on the old PS2 called Red Dead Revolver. I never played it. I don't know much about it.
It definitely didn't
count.
But
it's part of the series. Like, it's almost the same. But different characters and stuff. It didn't have John Marston or anything like that. But so I was surprised that they did call it Red Dead Redemption 2, which means it's probably about the Marston family, whether it's a prequel about John or, a sequel with his son later on. Who knows? That kind of threw me off. I remember in a few Facebook groups, there were people going like, if you think it's called Red Dead Redemption 2, you're so wrong. It's not going to be called that. And then, yeah, they had to eat their words, didn't they? But I really can't wait. That teaser trailer they put out, some of the scenery, it's phenomenal. Probably the best looking game I've seen on the PS4 yet, because it was recorded on a PS4, I think the trailer said.
yeah, and they're still definitely in early development too. That's only going to get better.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a year away. I'm pretty sure it's fall in America right now, and it has a fall 2017 release. So I'm keen for that. But what also probably intrigued me about it the most is that the domain was registered for Red Dead Online. If you saw that headline, that came
I think a
out.
lot of people were surprised there.
Yeah, I think that came out just before the trailer did. I can't quite remember. But what made me interested about that one is that Grand Theft Auto Online, which is sort of what they're focusing on at the moment, that has so much to do in it because it's set in a modern world. You know, you can create your biker gangs, you can be a CEO, buy your apartments and stuff like that. There's so much possible content that you can put into a game set in the modern world. But what would you do in a Western world that could bring people away from GTA Online, like, or still entertain them the same amount that GTA Online would?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you could do for that.
It's definitely speculation. I mean, like you were saying, constantly updated and constantly just brought out new things and going off like the modern day era, infinite possibilities. And looking at it, taking their domain for Red Dead 2 Online, really, it's the same. I think personally, like there's infinite things I can do. The technology is a lot different. Like it's a lot less advanced, obviously, but a massive online Western shooter where you can do whatever again. It's exciting. Like, honestly,
For sure.
I think everyone's keen for it.
Yeah.
Personally, as long as they keep to the smaller multiplayer, like kind of co-op, and they don't completely get rid of that, for me, that'll be the kicker. If they
Yes.
shy away from it too much.
Yeah, see, like with the original Red Dead, that had an online component. I can't remember a whole lot about it though, exactly what you could do. I remember you could hunt down rare horses and stuff, like try and find them and then keep them and stuff like that, get some cool horses. There might have been hunting challenges. I
Yeah,
can't
things like that.
really remember. It
That
was
was
that long
early in my
ago.
online days.
Yeah, like I mean, I can see them doing stuff like what they do with oh shit, what's it called in GTA Online? The Cruise. I can see a similar thing, like
Yeah, just
Rockstar Social
gangs.
Club incorporating that gangs and stuff. Yeah, you could have like a cool bounty hunter gang or something like that.
And
I
they're
don't
definitely
know.
going to have the challenges and things of the sort, like the horse races and easy incorporation, death matches.
Yeah,
Like, so that's straight up just one component that's instantly going to be just brought in from the GTA, I guess, engine. And
yeah,
I think
yeah, of
there's
course.
probably more. Like there'd be probably like I don't know shooting range possibilities, and then probably going into the Indian aspect, you can probably customize yourself between the two. Yeah, no, I think I think as like minimalistic as the time is, there's a lot of possibility.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I mean,
the big question is it going to be as attractive as GTA Online has been? Because it's a big
yeah,
step.
yeah, that's exactly right. It's going to be totally different, but I just don't know how you can flesh it out as much. Like what you're saying with the challenges. Sure, there are some challenges you could do, but not to the same level as you can in GTA. I mean, GTA has like fly the furthest in a jet as close to the ground as you can, and the person who does, you know, gets a ton of money and stuff. Like, what are you going to fly in the Western world?
It's for
Or
sure.
you know, they have some crazy
You're
stuff
probably not
like
going to be
that. Or you
pimping out
know,
your horse too much. I do want racing stripes on mine, but
yeah.
we can't get what we all want.
Oh, what if you give your horse like tattoos and stuff? Like, just do your horse up.
I can
You
already
can all
see
see
Peter's
like dye
headline
its fur
now.
and stuff.
Red Star's Red Dead Redemption 2 condones violence towards animals.
Oh, look, if it's for the sake of an aesthetically pleasing horse, well, no, I'm kidding. I don't condone.
Oh, it's okay.
animal
Why not? Let's just go for it. I personally can't see anything wrong with that if you can't.
What if you could? I mean, what if you could like just tame a whole bunch of animals? Like, what if you could have a bear buddy and stuff like that? Just get a bear from the woods. That'd
Now
be
we're,
pretty
we're
sick.
getting into like Far Cry Primal area there, verging on that.
That's one I didn't play.
Didn't play that one. I've played
No,
maybe half the story. It was pretty fun, but
I,
it's more or less exactly the same engine as Fallout, not Fallout, goddamn, Far Cry 4.
yeah,
Yeah, that was the last one that came out.
yeah.
Like the climbing mechanics and like the takedowns and all that,
Yeah,
very similar.
they were released what, like a year and a half apart, maybe.
Yeah, I'm surprised they pushed one out so quick.
Yeah, me
Cool
too.
concept. Like it's still good fun. Like obviously, if you're buying it, and you're not like a long time runner. Just if you're picking it up as a game, you'd really enjoy it. I know my younger sister played it. She played through it and she adored it. Very
Yeah,
close to platinuming it, not even knowing it. So yeah,
yeah.
just
No,
one you can pick up.
Far Cry is one of those franchises that everyone loves that I just can't get into. Like, I liked the beginning of Far Cry 3, And then that sort of just died off with me. And then Far Cry 4 I bought. I didn't get very far through that. I don't know why. I just couldn't enjoy them. And normally I love open world games. Most Ubisoft games I tend to be a fan of.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
Yes, to me, that just didn't click with me, I guess. But
Probably just had to trade in for another game.
Exactly what I did. Poor, man, that is one thing I hate about being a poor uni student, is trading in games. Like, games are my currency if I want a game. I just traded in...
I will give you
what did
2
I trade in?
games for
Mafia
this
3.
game.
Yeah, I traded in Mafia 3 and Uncharted 4 for Battlefield 1 a couple of days ago.
Actually.
When those were 2 games I wanted to keep. But,
I know you're playing through that with one of your housemates. Did you end up finishing it?
Yeah, I ended up finishing it. We finished it the night before. That was the 3rd time I played through it. Because I love it so much. I just went through it.
It's so much fun. I've still got to play it a second time. I get through so many games. I get through The Witcher.
Yeah.
Oh
man,
let's pick up Battlefield for a start. Yeah, I've got so much time to put into that. And going off how much I put into Skyrim, and it's minuscule map-wise compared. And then I've got to try and get my rank back up on Overwatch. There's a long road ahead.
Get yourself back into Diamond. Well, you're not technically out of Diamond. You can't fall out of it, but yeah. Oh
get
man, season 2 only
the 3,300 range. Thanks, guys.
Oh man, I need to hit that 3,000. I just want that diamond so bad, but we only have a couple of days left, and I think my rank's 2,600 and something. My best is like 10 points off diamond. Oh, I just can't get back up there. It's horrible.
Classic scrub lords wanting to be in diamond. Get good, everyone will say. You're not even good.
I'm a platinum pleb.
Anyway, if all else fails, we can get good at Red Dead Redemption 2 when it comes out. Because regardless of what it is, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to play the campaign. I'm going to be so satisfied. I've already made my mind up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a day one buy for sure. I was actually really surprised that it wasn't coming out sooner. I really thought Rockstar were going to do what Bethesda did with Fallout 4, just announce it, release it 6 months later. I mean, Rockstar and Bethesda are probably one of the 2 companies who could actually do that and still sell a lot. I mean, every man and his dog had GTA 5, and I doubt maybe like 85% of the people who got it weren't even following that game for the months that it was announced and until it was released. I bet a lot of people just thought, oh, new GTA's out, I'm going to get it. It's still one of the highest selling games every month still.
Yeah, that's the thing I was looking at. I don't know where I was looking, but they were saying that every month the numbers are going to be dropping more significantly than they're rising. And at the moment, with the amount of content they keep bringing out, they're re-engaging the audiences every couple of months. Months being like every 6 months or whatnot. So I really think that Red Dead has been put on the back burner for a long time. Like, it's always been an idea, always been really desired by fans, but they've just had so much success with GTA. Why would you move on yet? When you're pumping out like you're saying, new sales and keeping everyone happy.
Yeah, that's
While they can sit back and they're not like demanding because they've got this game that they're really enjoying from Rockstar, they can fix out or like make it more finessed. This new Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to an IGN podcast a week or 2 ago. They were talking about a similar thing, and one of them went to Rockstar headquarters, and they were getting shown around and stuff just before Red Dead was announced or even teased. So they didn't say anything about it to them. But they were talking about GTA Online, and Rockstar was saying that right now GTA Online is 2 or 3 times more populated and popular than it was at release. So like that game's just growing and growing. They're still going on with it. So I think they might even carry GTA Online as their flagship online franchise, probably, because it's just that popular. But I mean, Red Dead was Game of the Year among most like media outlets when that came out. The original Red Dead Redemption. So
it was something kind of different at the time. Like, it was a more realistic open world game, and like it had a lot more of a I guess human element to it. Like there was so much emphasis on monsters and like gameplay, just weird shit like zombies, as they brought out with Undead Redemption, whatever it was.
Undead Nightmare, yeah.
Undead Nightmare, that was the one. The expansion of the game. I can't remember. Sick. That was really cool.
I really want GTA to do that. If GTA did zombies like a single player DLC like that would have been sick. But I don't think they're even going to do any single player DLC.
Single player has been left out. Like, I can't think of anyone that's really put anywhere as much time into single player as they have into online. That's obviously not true for everyone.
I've put so many more hours into multiplayer, but
multiplayer you can pick up with anyone and go do something stupid for an hour, and you'll have fun nearly regardless.
Yeah, Well, speaking of GTA Online, we have we have one GTA Online video on our channel right now. If you guys want to go watch that, I thought I'd pimp that while we're on the subject.
Fair
So
enough.
go and head across to our Banter Lab YouTube channel if you're not on there already, and look at our GTA Online race videos. There's plenty of banters to be had.
Give it a like, leave a
But
comment. Negative comments, we embrace them.
oh, look, feedback's feedback. I mean, we're sitting on 30 views at the moment. I'll just be happy for a comment. Whether you're like, oh, you two suck, kill yourselves, I'll be like, okay, that's feedback.
Radio, as long as if you do it though, we have to stream it. That's the only thing. We'll kill ourselves, but it'll be streamed. Maybe we'll get
Yeah,
31
oh,
viewers.
Banter Lab, kill ourselves, suicide pact, live stream.
Hashtag can
YouTube
we
money for
monetize this
days.
yet? Yeah, exactly.
Put it in our will to send it to our kids or something. I mean, I don't have kids, but somehow
Nothing to do
I'll
with
obtain
kids.
them post life. And those kids can get that money. But
Sam's seed bank.
Oh man! But
I'm
speaking
sorry.
of the bank, Nintendo shares are dropping. Do you have any idea why?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's this little thing called the Nintendo Switch, which everyone
Yeah.
hyped up so badly, but personally, I can't see it being a big thing.
Yeah, no, I'm on the fence with that thing because it looks really cool. I don't know if you watched the reveal video for it, the trailer.
I did. I did
You
indeed.
did? Yeah. Yeah. See, so in that video, they made it look really cool. Like they had, gameplay on it and stuff. It looked beautiful. Like the some of the controller morphs and stuff, like, different controls you had, I was a bit iffy on. Some of them looked really uncomfortable and awkward. Some of them looked cool. I really like the idea of taking your home console with you, even though the PS4 and Vita kind of do that.
Exactly.
But not to the extent, I mean, the Switch is supposedly more powerful, but they haven't announced any specs, any games apart from Zelda Breath of the Wild. And then the gameplay of Skyrim and stuff like that that they put in the trailer, Nintendo have come out and said today that fans shouldn't assume that that gameplay is real because it isn't. It was all superimposed in afterwards. So
Yeah,
the actors playing in the
exactly.
trailer weren't actually doing that. And, oh man, that
For me,
kind of
what
scrubbed me the wrong way.
that whole video was just flashing lights to divert from what's really going on. They're bringing out what
Yeah.
is going to be in a heavily dominated world from not only Sony but Microsoft and also PC, like way ahead of everything, no matter what.
Mhm.
They've just like put these frosty lights out to try and get rid of the fact that they're falling behind terribly. Like
Yeah,
Nintendo,
that's exactly.
always going to be a huge staple. Like their games, their development, and their console. Like it's still a good console. I can't bring away from that. But comparatively, it's it's only going to be able to compete with its diehard fans. I can't see myself getting that
Yeah.
unless I was a diehard fan and I could sit there and I could play all my old games. Then the Zelda Breath of the Wild, a couple of exceptions, but I don't want to buy Skyrim on that. Skyrim's coming out on PS4
Yeah.
remastered soon. For what reason would you be getting your Nintendo and getting it on that? Because chances are, if you're buying a Nintendo, you've probably got another console or computer anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Not too many people have just a Nintendo anymore. But the thing is, I think it's early days to make judgments like that because we don't know the specs, because we don't know exactly what games. I mean, they did put out a poster of the third-party support that they're getting from developers, and a lot of huge developers are in there. I mean, Bethesda's in there. I don't think Rockstar was in there. They might have been. I can't quite remember. Platinum Games, Ubisoft. People make some awesome games, but the thing with the Wii U is that they started out the Wii U, it got third-party support from the beginning with Assassin's Creed and Batman games and stuff like that. But it was so hard to port games to for those companies because it was underpowered. And they just stopped. So if this console is too underpowered, it'll just end up like another Wii U, which is something I'm afraid of. But Nintendo just won't say anything about it until January, where it'll be 2 months away from launch. That's an 8-week period for people to find out if they want to buy it or not, and for Nintendo to know early on if it's going to succeed or not. So they're not the brightest company at the moment. I mean, most people are pushing for them to become software only, put their games on every platform, which they'd make a killing doing. But I think
Yeah,
they're just a bit too stubborn.
exactly. That's it. They've got their legacy to live up to. They were once
Mm.
something so big, and now they're a lot less than what they think they are. I think like a
Well,
long
yeah, I mean,
time,
they're on.
really enjoyed their games. Really enjoyed playing the games when we'd go to cousin places and things like that. But yeah, it's just kind of dying out. And to keep relevant, they're going to have to just diversify and release their games on
Mm.
multiple consoles, I think.
Yeah, that's
Then
exactly
again,
right. I
who am I
mean,
to say we're sitting here and we've got no idea? We're just throwing
we
out what we
don't.
think.
we don't know how it's going to play out, but I think they're pretty educated guesses. But I mean, like, look at the last Nintendo console I owned. I don't know about you. It was the Wii, and that was my first one after the 64. I never had a GameCube. This isn't counting handhelds because Nintendo owned the handheld world. Like the 3DS is huge. But the last thing I had was the Wii, which I didn't throw out that much. Everyone bought a Wii. No one really used it in incredible amount, except for when it first came out. Everyone was on that Wii Sports because Wii Sports was dope. But and then it died because it couldn't get any third-party support. And then the Wii U came out. Some people bought it, and it's actually a really fun party, like couch co-op system.
Yeah.
But there's not many good games for it.
Like, testimony to that is we got like a friend down the coast, and for us, that's where all the Wii's have ended up. Coast houses, beach places, something that you play with friends, have a few drinks, and you'll play maybe for a couple of hours. But after that, just the whole thing, it runs dry. Like, what do you do after you finish playing your 13th game of Wii Bowling, and then you've played your 100th round of Mario Kart? Because, boy, that game does not get old fast. You can play that for hours.
Yeah,
If you play it for hours, you don't want to pick it up again for a couple of months because you're going to be just going around tracks regardless.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I played Mario Kart, we played Mario Kart, if you're aware of that drinking game. That just killed me, so I don't know how I feel about playing Mario Kart
we have a
again.
couple of versions of Mario Kart, but it's I think they're a little bit more over the top than needed. A bit rough.
No, that game kills me. It's a fantastic time, but that game kills me.
I'm not good at Mario Kart to start with.
With the idea of the Switch being a portable console, though, some of the things I had in that trailer were so dumb. Like, this girl goes to a party, whips out her Nintendo Switch, and like everyone else's party, she's just sitting there playing by herself. Jenny, what are you doing, Jenny? Come and socialize.
How'd she get in here?
Yeah, I'm playing Skyrim on my Wii. On my Switch.
Playing Skyrim on my Wii. A little generator springs around with her in a TV. I love it.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting idea. Nintendo are innovators. All of their consoles have done something different to the other two, but it's mostly gimmicks. So I really want this one to succeed. I hope it does. It's early days. We can't really tell, but it's not looking good for the old
It's
Nintendo.
Not looking the best.
But
look, I hope
on the note of not looking the
I do hope it kind of it has its little niche market enough to keep itself afloat. Like, it is kind of sad, regardless of all the, I guess, negative things I've said about it, because it is iconic, and they've really tried, like, this whole idea of making it innovative, but I just can't see it happening. Anyway.
Yeah, but something that people couldn't see happening for a while, but now has a shining glimmer of hope. The Uncharted movie, which is, oh man, ever since I played the first Uncharted, that's been something being like, this needs to be a movie. This game plays like a movie. It's cinematic like a movie. It just lends itself so well to be a movie. It's well written, awesome characters and whatnot. And since 2008, I read today, they've been trying to work on it, and then it just went into development hell.
Yeah.
Until
can't decide,
today.
Pick and choose. Well, for a franchise that has done everything right, like, they ended the series, they didn't try and monetize it to the shithouse and make a fifth, sixth game. It's a touch and go thing with the movie. There's so much that can go wrong, but so much that can go right.
I think with Uncharted specifically, compared to any other game they might want to make into a movie, there's so much that can go right. I mean, those characters and what they do and stuff just lend themselves well to a movie. I mean, look at Indiana Jones. Put that in the modern day, and then bang, it's a hit. I mean, adventure movies like that, treasure hunting movies, are proven to go well. Indiana Jones is still classics. The fourth one doesn't exist. That was a bad dream everyone in the world just had.
Just simultaneous. It was just really weird. Phenomenon, really.
How did it happen? Aliens. Must have been aliens.
Aliens.
But yeah, so if you haven't read it, this movie's gotten a new director as of today. I think I read the article, and his name is Sean Levy. And it's not a name I'd actually heard of before, but I definitely watched a lot of his stuff. So Sean Levy is known for The Internship, Night at the Museum, but his notable production that he's been a producer on is Stranger Things, which was a resounding hit everywhere. I don't know if you've watched Stranger Things, Ben, but it is, it's goddamn great.
Someone who's not a fan of horror at all, I thoroughly enjoyed it, even though it's not really a horror. It's just really well done. Everything about it, just how it's set up to the shots and camera movements. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it had awesome cinematography and stuff. It had horror elements which were incorporated awesomely too. But the thing is, he was a producer on all of those things. He hasn't directed yet, to my knowledge. I just read up on him on IMDb. He's produced everything. This is, I think, his directing debut. So we'll see if he can direct well. But we don't have any actors tied to the movie at the moment, which is really what I wanted to talk about. So if you were to cast your Uncharted movie, Ben, who are you whacking in? We'll open with my two personal favorite characters. Yeah, my two personal favorite characters. That's sort of my top three interchangeable, but Nate and Sully. Who is your Nate and Sully?
Oh, Nate, the character that we need to have perfect. Look, my heart wants to say probably Chris Pratt. I want him to be Nathan Drake, just because I thoroughly enjoy everything about him. Very funny man.
Yeah,
Justice to Star-Lord.
He's a funny man.
And for what Jurassic World was, he did well for his character.
Yeah, for what he was given in Jurassic World, he did well. I didn't like that movie, but no, like Star-Lord, he did justice to him. To me, Star-Lord is relatively similar to Nathan Drake, and he nailed that. He nails the charisma and the charm, and he can be serious when he needs to.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's a funny guy. We've seen that he can get ripped because, let's face it, Nate's pretty ripped, especially in Uncharted 4.
That's a lot of climbing, man.
Traps.
That's all Sam looked at. 90 minutes of traps while climbing. How many times you fall off and looking and being mesmerized by traps? You can't count on one hand, I'm sure.
Naughty Dog. If there's something you've impressed me the most with all of your phenomenal games, it's dem traps on Nate. But no, yeah, Chris Pratt is my first choice for Nate as well. But I saw a photo today. It never even crossed my mind to cast this guy until today, and it was Chris Evans, Captain America. Yeah, I thought, no, he could do it. Just dye his hair brown. He's ripped. He looks the part, and I think he can do the charm as well. I mean, it's pretty soon if you've seen many other movies that he's in, but I think you could get Nate down. Not as well as Chris Pratt.
Possibly. But I guess like a long shot too. Maybe someone like Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. I think
it's a bit more of a fun
Cooper was in talks at one point.
Oh, actually, okay. I'm just thinking of people that look similar, kind of similar, possible, able to act those characteristics out. That's probably. I'm still leaning towards Chris Pratt over all of them.
Oh, Chris Pratt for sure, because I think Nate's key part of his personality is definitely his charm and his wit. Like, he's just a funny guy, and
smart,
and he's wise.
Everything you're looking for in a man.
And traps. Those are the three things I look for in a man. Yeah, exactly right. But those are his defining characteristics, and I think Chris Pratt could get those down awesomely. But at the same time, actually, it's just crossed my mind now. Oscar Isaac, who played Poe Dameron in Star Wars 7.
Yeah,
I think he could do a good job as well. He might be a little old. He might be a little on the old side.
I think that.
But if they did an older Nate, like in Uncharted 4. Yeah,
okay.
If they did Uncharted 4 the movie, that'd be the one.
Yeah, I could say that. I definitely could say that one. But
who's your Sully though?
I have not thought about this, and off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
You let me down. Yeah, I do actually. I think it's a perfect casting. When Trent and I were playing Uncharted, Trent's my roommate, by the way, who we were talking about just before. When we were playing Uncharted, we played through all 4 of them in the last couple of months because he'd never played them until this year. So I was like, here's the collection, here's Uncharted 4, go nuts. And it was probably in the middle of 2, maybe 3, I don't know. We were talking about the old Spider-Man movies, the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. And we referenced J.K. Simmons, who plays J. Jonah Jameson. And then we were like, wait, hang on a minute. They look kind of similar. And then we thought, you know what? J.K. Simmons would actually nail that. Just imagine him sitting back with a cigar. It's Uncharted 1, the movie. And he's just like, El goddamn Dorado. It's like, oh, man. J.K. Simmons is Sully. Because he can act. The man can act. And honestly, if they didn't base the movie on one of the games, I want the movie to be mostly about Nate and Sully.
Look, let's just throw Ian McKellen in. Why not?
Ian McKellen.
I can see nothing
Even
wrong
a
with
stretch.
I'm just, I
You
think it's just
shall
hilarious.
not pass.
You
Ian, that's the wrong
shall-
movie.
Sorry, it's all I can do. Actually, sorry, I can also do a Magneto and many others. No, I just love him. I just think it'd be hilarious.
Oh, it's fantastic. It is a bit on the old side for Sully. But no, if you were to make the Uncharted movie about one of the games, of the 4 games, we don't count the Vita one. I haven't played it. Doesn't apparently it's not that great. Which one are you going to base it off? Which one do you make into a movie?
Look, I think personally, what they would do is they have to start from the beginning. It is a
Mhm.
story, and if by starting from the beginning they nail it, there's 3 more movies that everyone would really enjoy watching
Mm.
just from the get-go.
Yeah,
But if I was going to
see,
say off like my favorite stories, I would probably have to say the second because that was
mhm.
just awesome. That was just amazing for me. That was probably one of my first PlayStation 3 games.
Yep.
I remember I
So,
finished that game 3 or 4 times.
so you played the second one before the first,
I
did
did.
you?
I did.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There you go. I played them in order, but I don't know. I don't think it has to go from the beginning. Even in Uncharted 1, where that takes off, that's the beginning of Nate and Sully knowing Elena. But they'd
Yeah.
both been Nate and Sully had been treasure hunters for God knows how long before that. And then, we didn't figure out how they became what they are. I don't think it has to go from the beginning. I would personally pick 4.
Yep.
I don't know. I loved 4, and because that's the most recent in my memory, I guess 4 and 3 are tied for my favorite. I go 4. I think an awesome pirate adventure would go well, especially at the moment when a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie is coming out and everyone's hyped about that. I think a pirate movie would go awesomely up there. I
Yeah.
think I'd go 4 with Sam and Nate. Started out when they were little boys, and then go into the prison scene. Oh, spoilers for Uncharted 4, by the way, if you
Yeah.
haven't
Geez,
if you
throw
haven't
that
played
out
it.
there.
Go into the prison where, okay, I'm going to pat my head when the spoiler's over, if you're watching this on video, to the part where Sam dies in the Panamanian prison, and then go to the modern day and then meet Sam again, go from there. I think that's all you need, because Elena isn't in that game a whole lot, so we don't really need to know a whole lot about her. Sully is not in the game a whole lot either, so you don't need to know all their background, but
The thing is,
I'd
there's
make
like a lot
four.
of
I'd
that
make it four about him and Sam.
you kind of need the background for a lot of the characters too. Like, otherwise, like the whole argument and the fact that Elena turns up randomly at the island, I can't remember the island, midway through the game. We've got no
Mhm.
background. It's just like, oh, this chick. It's like, oh, who's this? How did she get there? How does a random housewife do this? For me, like the games are
True.
somewhat sequential,
Yeah.
and to make it flow better, the movies would probably have to be in order. But personally, that's just how I would like to see it.
I think you're right. Personally, if I was writing an Uncharted movie, I wouldn't base it on any of the games. I'd make it brand new, change some origins.
I
Like
think I
obviously,
would
make
reference games.
uh, yeah, you'd have to reference the games for sure. I mean, you'd make the plot somewhat similar, like finding a lost city and stuff like that. But I wouldn't make it that Nate and Sully meet Elena on a boat trying to find Sir Francis Drake's coffin, and then they go to find El Dorado and make it exactly like one. Like I'd make them meet Elena probably a similar way, but chasing a different thing, going through a different lost city. I'd make it an original story. All the characters would be the same characters. They just meet different ways, stuff like that. I think.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. It's like there's just so much you can do about it. Because for me personally, like one of the big aspects for loving the games was just how integrated the history was. Like you learn so much
mm,
from it, it makes you want to learn more. And so
yeah,
like they could elaborate in a lot more because the amount of dialogue that there is in game would pale a comparison what they could like portray through a movie. So I think by doing a bit more, like not exactly as you would through the games, but having a pretty close relation to it, I think it'd be for the game is great.
yeah. Oh, no, for sure. I agree. I mean, you put tons of little Easter eggs and stuff like that in for the games, because in the end, I think that movie would be for the gamers, fans of the series.
But
But
if it
the
does
thing
do well, everyone
is,
will love it.
yeah, exactly. Because Uncharted is so good just as a franchise, everyone would love it regardless of if they've played the games or not, because its characters are awesome, the sequences are always awesome. Just Uncharted is almost its own perfect little nutshell that could apply to everyone. It'd be the modern
Just,
Indiana Jones for sure.
Sean, please don't butcher it, man. Please, if it's failing, give
I
up.
mean, if it even happens, I mean, he's the third director, I think, I think he's the first one to probably sign on. But I mean, if this movie happens, it's been in hell since 2008. That's 8 years. So that's if the movie happens. I really hope it does. But Sean, if it's going to happen, don't butcher it, please, for the sake of my childhood. I've already been burned by Michael Bay with TMNT. I don't need this with Uncharted, which is one of my favorite game series of all time. That was so rough.
That's what you want.
Oh, not what you want at all, man. I walked out of that movie. I nearly walked out during it, but like, I love the Ninja Turtles. Like, the Ninja Turtles is a huge part of my childhood, and then they just absolutely butchered it with that first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that came out a couple of years ago. I didn't watch the second one because of that.
What could you expect, though? Making a live-action TMNT.
I would have expected them to get the little story points right and origins right, and they just
probably
ruined it.
The real thing is the Uncharted movie going to become the next Shadow of Ica or something? Is it? Remember that game? Got released 300,000 years ago. I'm going to look it up.
You're talking about The Last Guardian, the new eco game?
That's the one.
That was in developmental hell for like 20 years. That's coming out early next year.
Man, mad brain fart. I was thinking Shadow of the Colossus, they were announced at the same time, and one just never came out. Yeah, The Last Guardian.
I knew what you meant, because Shadows of the Colossus was one of their games, and Team Eco were the ones who made it. So I think that's how you got that.
Yep.
Mixed up. But
yeah.
Oh god, if it's that,
we'll see it when we die.
That was in developmental hell for so long. Like, it completely burned my interest in the game. Yeah, it's an alright concept. The gameplay story of it looked kind of boring. But
it's more of a puzzle game.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like a puzzle game, which doesn't interest me much. I mean, puzzles are my least favorite part of Uncharted. But like The Last Guardian, man, all my interest is burned on that over so long. Like, if it's been in developmental hell for that long, I don't see how the game could possibly be good. And there are still tons of people who are super excited for it, but I just don't think it's going to turn out great.
How about we scrap that and they just do a HD remake of Shadow of the Colossus, which was really fucking good.
Yes, that game is a phenomenal masterpiece. Maybe even a masterpiece.
It was masterfully paced. Those boss fights were pretty big. Fast-paced.
They were colossal, some might say.
They were very colossal battles. Often sitting in their shadow while trying to figure out your strategy.
Yeah, man. I'd love to go back and play this. That. It's just one game. But if they want to remake those, Team Eco, if you're listening to this, which I'm sure you are, because everyone listens to this podcast. This is the first episode, highly anticipated. But please remaster those games. And if you ruined The Last Guardian, I called it. And that's about all I have to say to you.
Yeah, good. I think they'll take that in. Do you want me to put that into writing, just in case they miss this? Which I think they definitely. They definitely didn't miss it, but I'll give them writing anyway.
It'd be rude to miss it, but we might as well give them a backup. Send them a letter signed by me and you, and we'll give them a link to this video. They can, watch the last, I think, hour mark. We're nearly on now, 40-minute mark. They can watch until here for that short little message, and they can settle with that and remaster the game for us. Hopefully, pop it out in a couple of weeks. I'm sure that's all it takes.
Days is better.
Remaster button, right?
Yeah. No, that's how I do it.
Remastering games, it's just a remaster button. It's like upscale to 1080.
Button.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Just release them.
Yeah, then just put it in my JB Hi-Fi store here in Newcastle, and I'm down. I'm happy with that. Nice and easy. Thanks, Eco.
Done. Finished. All right. Cool. I think can we have a job now?
I would love a job.
I can push the button.
Yeah, I can push the remaster button. I'll take $100,000 a year.
I'd do it for 10. Pushing a button.
You can't label yourself like that, man.
I really need this job.
I'm so poor.
Regardless, I think the main thing is Uncharted. Please actually come out at some stage and please be somewhat watchable and not be butchered like Sam's TMNT dreams.
Oh, that was beyond butchered. That made me whole into my soul. But and please get J.K. Simmons and Chris Pratt onto the movie. But I think it's about time to wrap it up. I think we're about 40-something minutes in. I actually have no idea. I wasn't really watching the clock. That's probably a good length for our first episode. So
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, for everyone who did. And especially don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, like the video and stuff like that. If you subscribe to us, you'll be getting all our content as soon as it comes out, like all our gameplay videos.
Great privilege.
Great privilege. I mean, who wouldn't want Banter Lab's content fresh out of the Banter Lab?
I mean,
So,
who wouldn't want to see these mugs weekly?
exactly. Our ugly mugs weekly in the CasualCast, and also our gameplay videos going on fresh off the lab. I mean, because our videos, right? So in the lab, they take a little while to cook. We have to put them through special flasks. Actually
Big
inject
flasks.
the banter into them, which
this
is
big, really big flasks.
really big flasks. And then we actually have to. So we have these banter needles. Just pop it in, inject the banter, and then you have to let it sit and ferment for a little while. And
Sometimes it
that
doesn't
takes a
ferment
few.
properly, so you have to put another 20 cc's of banter in. Rare, but
Exactly,
you
and
know,
20
it
cc's
happens.
of banter isn't cheap. So sometimes content coming out of the Banter Lab will be a little bit slow, but we don't have a huge subscriber base at the moment. But we'll be giving you fresh gameplay videos, reviews, stuff like that, and especially episodes of the CasualCast, which you've been listening to all today, hopefully weekly. So subscribe to get those fresh out of the lab. And also don't forget to follow us on Twitter, so you also get notified if you don't subscribe when I've got new stuff up. You know, just get our thoughts on things as they come. We're at Banter Lab Videos on Twitter. On Twitter personally, if you want to follow me, I am at Samuel_Nick. That's NICK 96. And Ben, I think you're Thunder Crashes.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, Ben's Thunder Crashes on Twitter. So give us a follow if you feel like
Little
it.
gamer tag.
And that's also his PSN if you want to add him and send him abusive messages over Overwatch, telling him that
Cheers
is
for that.
the worst play that he's ever seen. You can also follow me on the old PSNs. I'm at Samuel Nick, but it's NICH this time, and give me messages saying that I'm the best Overwatch player ever, because clearly I am. And that's it for this week, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Au revoir.
Bye.